Hey guys, how's the connection? Do you hear me? Just wondering, once again, sound check. Okay, great. So good morning, guys. We are so excited and very glad to welcome you to our webinar dedicated to the new Eocortex version 2.5. And during this webinar, we'll get acquainted with new features of Eocortex, which contains 27 updates, including new intelligent modules, features, and integrations. And, to make this webinar more interactive, you're welcome to share your questions and discuss your ideas right here in the chat during our online session. And in addition, this webinar aims to understand the way of using new Eocortex features, reveal its competitive advantages, and your benefits from utilizing it, of course. And moreover, at the end of the webinar, you'll get the information about further product development of Eocortex. So don't miss this opportunity to know the future of Eocortex. And let's get started. So firstly, we'll show you the video of Eocortex 2.5, the teaser. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you're excited as we are right now. Okay. And so let me introduce myself first. My name is Paul. I'm a business development manager at Eocortex, and I'm responsible for relations with partners from Italy and Germany. Also, I would like to introduce my colleague Ilya, our pre-sale manager, who will join the webinar to demonstrate to you the new functions and updates. So today, we'll get acquainted with the new version 2.5, the development of which took us the whole year, and we are so excited about it. So please ask your questions in the chat. My colleagues will be answering them in the course of the webinar, no problem. And you may also use the question section. Just head up to the right top of the screen. Feel free to ask us questions, no problem. And I'd appreciate you staying with us the whole time, because at the end of the webinar, our developer team lead, Alex, will inform you about the nearest future of Eocortex, very interesting. And you will learn about the novelties that await you in the upcoming versions. Okay, so we were developing the version 2.5 during the whole of the last year, and while the work on the new version was in progress, Eocortex was expanding its capabilities boundaries. And we have already implemented more than 1,700 projects in more than 20 countries, and this is our performance in 2018, just 2019, And our team performed scale-up of several hundreds of the existing facilities. And well, as you can see, the systems based on Eocortex software are spreading on every continent, and this extensive experience is implemented not only in the new versions of software, but also in our relationships with you guys. We work out the projects together, increasing the prospects of success and effective project development. So thank you all for helping us to make the world safer, and let's move on. So now we will proceed to the updates waiting for you in the Eocortex version 2.5. On this slide, you can see the new features that are really available to the users. And each feature has developed and approved in accordance with the demands of the end users and with the demands of you guys. So each feature expands the capabilities of Eocortex and consequently the horizons of your projects. Moreover, this functionality is aimed at increasing your chances to win more projects with us. And our webinar will be organized as follows. First, I will tell you about the advantages of a feature, and then our pre-sale manager, Ilya, will demonstrate its operation. So let us begin. We will start with one of the largest updates, the redesign of the configurator. During the development of this tool, our team catered to the convenience and to the habits of the present-day users. So now you and your customers can set up and use Eocortex faster and easier. And on this slide, you can see the configurator launch window. Launching now takes a lot less time, especially in the large systems. And one of the important features of the new configurator is the system of hints that will point out the errors for you and simplify the setup. But let's pause my talking and move on to the demonstration. So I give my floor to my colleague Ilya.
Again, hello everybody. It's Ilya, pre-sale engineer from Eocortex, and let's go ahead and take a look at the new 2.5 interface. The huge work was done to make a totally new design and make the interface lighter, more systemized, and easier to use. However, design wasn't the only thing that was developed. In addition, now it works much faster with the big systems such as that contains hundreds or even thousands of cameras. So here is the new configurator. All the settings are grouped in the common architecture. Vertical tabs for the main settings in the right, the list of items, cameras or servers in the middle, and all another settings are placed in the horizontal tabs in the right. So let's start with the first tab, cameras. So the list of cameras is pretty similar with the previous versions. Here we can see all the list of cameras and systemize them with the folders. Then let's go to the right. In the first tab, vertical tab, connection, we can set the settings for connection and the streaming for these cameras. Also, we can test the video stream right here and get the information about all the errors and issues about the connection. After that, we can set the rights for the users, set the archiving mode, scheduled, by motion, and so on, set the motion detector and analytics. Now you can see that all our modules have their own icons, so they're placed on one page and not in the list as it was in the previous versions. Then also you can set some rights and change the settings as for one channel and for the group of cameras too. Then let's go forward and check the settings of servers. So the architecture is common for all the settings, the list of servers and the horizontal tabs. So we can set connection settings, check the status of licensing and cameras. All the settings about the server are placed with the horizontal tabs. So archiving, network. In the network settings, you can see that a new option was added, accept ONVIF connections. We discuss this option a little bit forward. And mobile connections, of course. Then, after that, we can set the users here we can see again the list of our users and their rights placed in the pretty horizontal tabs. So all the cameras, servers, grids, views, and so on. Also, you may notice that here we got the new option, users of messengers. So here you're also available to add some users of messengers and change their rights or send invite for them. The last tab that I want you to show, the automation. So now all the automations, scheduled tasks and tasks by event are placed in the separated tab and not in the list as it was in the previous versions. So for now, we can see all the scheduled tasks for the module and the tasks by event. So here is the 2.5 interface, and let's go ahead and get back to the presentation.
Hi, thank you, Ilya. If you have any questions regarding the updates of the configurator, please ask them in the question section, and so we will answer as soon as possible. And let us move on to the new and next update. It's called hard hats. Surely many of you are already familiar with this module or have even tested it, but its official release and it's time to coincide with the launching of the version 2.5. So this module has undergone significant modifications, including those related to its accuracy and efficiency. In a second, we will find out more about them. Let's go ahead. So as you already know, this module is intended to detect the absence of hard hats in the people's heads, and it's made in real time. Who might need this module? First of all, the companies where it's imperative to abide by the safety regulations. And by installing this module, you give your customer a tool to avoid industrial accidents and thus comply with the law and minimize the possible damage. And if an employee without a hard hat appears in the frame, the module will register this event and record the infraction in the log. And you will be able to capture the moments of the infraction, view it in a video archive, identify the offender, and react promptly. So you receive the automatic notification about each violation, and the frame with the violation is sent to your email or, for example, Messenger. And now we will demonstrate the module's operation in real time. Ilya, please begin.
Okay, so hard hat detection is a new module that is running on neural network. Also, this is our first module that can use the GPU power instead of the CPU. The module can detect people in the frame and check if they're wearing hard hats. So let's go ahead and see the settings for this module. So first of all, the required position of the camera for this module is pretty similar with the regular surveillance cameras. So the needed angle is about 45 degrees to the horizon, and we need to get the constant sharp image, constant light illuminated sharp image, and the size, the minimal size of an object to be detected is needed about 120 pixels. Then go to the analytics and change the settings for the module. So as you can see, we can set the minimal and maximal size of person to be detected and set the detection zone. During the test, we understood that the most important thing about the hard hat detection module is decreasing the number of the false alarms. So you can see that sometimes you get a delay between getting the video stream and then performing the alarm. So it was done to minimize the number of false alarms. So now you can see that our colleague was detected. Let me refresh the video. I saw a question. We can detect heads of such colors as orange, red, green, yellow, white, and blue. After getting events in real time, we can see all the events about the hard head detection in the journal and then get the link to the archive just by clicking this event. So we can see all the events about the alarms with no head, and also we can set notifications about the uh, detected persons without wearing hat via email, messengers, and so on. So again, let's go back to the demonstration. Please continue, Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Ilya. And that would be awesome if you guys find a couple of hard hats and convince yourself in the high precision of the neural network. So you're welcome to obtain a test license of the module from our manager. Just ask us. And we'll send Eocortex support email address at the end of the webinar. So you'll see it in the chat. And an important notice from us. If you have any projects where we can deploy the hard hat detection, please follow the link in the chat and share the details with us. This will give you additional rebates and some extras. So you'll find out later. All right. So let's go ahead to the next thing. And so let us continue with the people counting in a queue. So, well, if you have already worked with it, you will undoubtedly appreciate the upgrades, I'm sure. So, you know that retail is the most future-oriented sector in the video surveillance market because it's easy to see its financial benefits, you know it. And you can optimize the work for example, end user retail store, and more importantly, save the expenditures related to the installation and operation of the module. So how's it done? We significantly reduced the central processor load by making use of the graphic card, lowered the camera installation requirements on the accounts of the less restrictive angle range, improved accuracy by using the neural networks also. And now it's possible to use the same camera for both video surveillance and people counting. And now let's look at the module's operation in real time. Ilya, please start.
Okay, so people counting in a queue module, it's a new version of this module. It can be run on the just regular surveillance camera. It was said by Paul earlier. So let's check the settings for this module. So, as I said, the position for this camera is pretty regular. The angle is about from 20 to 50 degrees to the horizon. The needed image needs to be constant illuminated, sharp, and contrast. And we need to capture people in the full height, minimally overlapped by each other or any other objects. Also, we can set several zones for one camera if it's needed, and set the maximum permissible number of people in a queue. And for example, set notifications or alarms if the number was higher than the set it one. Then let's check how it looks like. So in real time, we can see that the quantity of people in the zone is changing in real time. And also we can build a report about this module, set the period for making the report and see it in the graphical way. So what was the number of people in a queue? Again, word to you, Paul. Please continue.
Thank you, sir. Same thing. If you see an opportunity to implement people counting in your projects, please go ahead and register the info via link on the chat. You can see it in the chat right now. Okay, so we have finished the demonstration of the new modules. Let us now talk about smaller but equally useful updates. One of these is the scheduled reports that greatly simplify the work of the security personnel. Let's have a closer look at this feature. It offers an additional automation capability. The client regularly receives the reports regarding the results of people counting, face and license plate recognition modules operation. Moreover, all the infractions detected are marked in the reports. So from now on, you can showcase this feature to your customers. It's free. You and your client sets up the report and its periodicity only once. After that, the reports are sent automatically. You save time and obtain data in the convenient formats, for example, via email. And in this version, the report feature is available for free modules only. If you want, text us, write us an email. You can call us and let us know in which modules you would like to have this feature available also. And meanwhile, Ilya will commence the demonstration of the reports.
Okay, let's take a look at how the scheduled reports with the license plate recognition can be set. So first of all, let's go to the automation tab, choose the needed module, and here we can see that schedule task is all we need. Just add a task, name it, let's name it test. Then we can set the time of the sending the report. For example, let's check it. And set the repeat option. So for example, send every day in the concrete time. Then add an action and choose send report by email. So first of all, you'll need to set the server settings. So the email that will be used for sending the reports. Set the recipient. Then choose the needed type of report. So this plate is available because we have a group settings, and here you will be able to change the type of the module, so face recognition or people counting module. And then add some filters. For example, make report only for authorized vehicles, interception, or other groups. Change the direction that will be detected and placed in the report, and change the report format, so it can be table or CSV file. So let's make it for the table. So it's ready. Okay, let's go ahead and check how it's look like in the email. Let me open the browser. Okay, I already got the email about half an hour ago. And here we can see the info about the date, time, the number of vehicles, and the customization about the reports. So now we got the report only about authorized vehicles. If this is an authorized vehicle, we get the additional information from this person and their vehicle. So number, name, groups, and the direction if it was identified. So again, this option is available for license plate recognition, face recognition, and people counting module. So again, let's go back to the presentation. Paul, your word.
Yep. Thank you, Ilya. Very, very useful thing, isn't it? I'm talking about the automated schedule reports. So nice. And now we'll continue to talk about the automation. So we are going to discuss a new channel of communication with our software. Uh, yep, sorry. Yep, here you go. And as you know, it's possible to remotely obtain data from your CCTV system and control it using a smartphone app. Your customer gets round-the-clock access to the video surveillance system, and Eocortex is enhancing the remote access capabilities for controlling and monitoring the CCTV system. So, wow, now you don't have to install a special application to communicate with your video surveillance system. You just need to send a link to an email, and your employees get the required access. Telegram, Viber, and Facebook allow you to receive images from the cameras, to get channel alarm notifications, or to see the server status, and much more. What does it mean? It means that you will be able to respond to the emergencies and control the system's operability round the clock, 7 days a week. So now Ilya will showcase the functionality of the messengers using the people counting module as an example. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so here is the screen of my phone, and right now we received a notification from the chatbot. Let's check the status bar. I set a couple tasks by event. So the first one was about the overloaded queue. If the number of people in the queue is higher than 3 or higher, we receive an immediate notification and information about the system, name of the camera, and the message, check the queue. Also, as you can see here, we can attach the frame from the camera to make the notification more informative. Also, I set another task to get the frame from the hard hat module. Now you can see that the person in the left isn't wearing the hard hat. So we received the snapshot from the camera with him. Also, the information about the system, the name of the camera, and the message was received too. Then, what are other functions and commands available for the user? First of all, we can get the snapshots from our system in real time just by using the menu down below. We can select the needed camera and request to get and request a snapshot from the system. So let's check the LPR module. Here is a snapshot from it. Also, we can just type the needed name of the module to get the snapshot from it. Here is a snapshot from the queue camera. Also, we can use the menu, go to the main menu, and here you also can change the system. So if you have several servers connected to the chatbot, you can migrate from one system to another and send commands to another system and then go back again to the previous system. Also, you can get the technical report from the system where we can see the system status. So it's stable right now. Also, we can get the information from the archive, so the depth for the first server and for the second one. If some alarms will be generated, for example, there was a connection loss with some of the cameras, notifications will be get too. So also you can get help about using the chatbot. And again, this function is available for such messengers as Facebook, Telegram, and Viber. So, Paul?
Yeah, it was awesome, Ilya. Thank you. So as you've seen, guys, the messengers greatly simplify the work with the CCTV system. Your customer saves time and saves time for monitoring and obtains an additional tool for controlling the system, and that is awesome. Absolutely. So now let's move on to the next update. One of the most important updates of the software is the demo version available in an online mode. So what is new in it? Let us see. Before, you had to download the demo version of Eocortex, and you needed a server, a license, and a camera to be able to see the operation of the client and the modules in real time. And now you have several demo versions available. The demo client and demo version. So what's the difference? The demo client has the built-in video clips that enable you to showcase the basic functional of Eocortex to your customers. And the demo client weighs only a couple of megabytes. So you'll save the time and equipment. And with our regular demo version, you can go and see the operation of the face recognition, license plate recognition, and search modules right after the webinar. And you can fill in the form on our website and get email with the link for downloading both of demo versions. And to try out other modules, you will need to get a trial license. Just important notice. Simply send us a request and we'll get back to you with a trial license and with some instructions on how to install it. And if you have video clips that can be used for the similar tasks, you can share them with us. So we will compile them in a demo client for you that will help you to make a convincing presentation for your customers, just using your customized demo. And let us proceed to the technical improvements that open new project opportunities for us, and we are going to get better acquainted with the new updates. So now Eocortex works with the standard ONVIF protocol, both during data transmission and receipt. It means that you can use Eocortex in the large projects that require integration with other security systems. You also obtain economic benefit, economic viability, easy integration process, and wide engineering capabilities. Basically, any system that employs ONVIF protocols may be integrated with Eocortex. For example, MX monitoring system or Paxton access control system work by ONVIF with no integrations. And as I told you in the beginning, the new version of Eocortex contains more than 27 updates. And since our webinar is time limited, I invite you to review the complete changelog on our website. The link will appear in the chat right now. Should you fail, guys, to understand how a feature works, please write to us. So we'll give you the explanations and advice regarding the use of the feature for your projects. And now we're going to quickly go through to some other crucial technical updates. Don't forget that soon one of our developers, Alexei Ponomarenko, will join us to talk about the prospects of the Eocortex software development. So here you can see other important technical updates to which you'll be able to offer Eocortex solution for more projects without having to make additional modifications and adaptations. For example, the Eocortex client application now launches faster than that of the competition. And their shorter launch time is valid for large and small systems alike. And some flaws connected with working with the archive in version 2.4 have been remedied. And now the archive video is played back smoothly, meaning that you won't miss any important information. It's it's very important aspect. And it's equally important that Eocortex now works with the MxPEG codec. Do you know MxPEG? Uh, yeah, it will give you the advantage in the project with Mobotics cameras. And several of our partners have already appreciated these strong points and implemented various safe city projects using the MxPEG and Mobotics cameras, and it was based on Eocortex. Dear colleagues, so you can familiarize yourself with all the technical updates by reviewing the changelog posted on our website. And also you have our phone number, so please call us and we'll be happy to tell you everything that you might want to know. All right. And and now, are you guys doing okay? Hope you're still here. And I'm excited to give the floor to Alexey Ponomarenko, our developer team lead. So don't miss the opportunity to ask him questions. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Is it okay? Yep, alright. Okay, so my name is Alexey Ponomarenko, and so far you've only heard about what our latest release version 2.5 can do. I, on the other hand, am here to tell you about what's currently in the works and will be released sometimes later this year. So the next versions are, well, obviously 2.6, 7, and so forth. And now I would like to tell you a little bit about the few functions that we would like to release this year. All right, so we have a few functions that are expected to be released sometimes this summer, and let's start with them in order. So the first one is called the self-fullness detector. And the premise is pretty simple. This module is one of those retail-oriented modules, and its task is to monitor the fullness of a shelf and signalize the user when the fullness value drops below the specified limit. For instance, you may set it up to monitor a shelf, and when the value drops below 30%, you may set the system up to send you a notification to Telegram or Viber or maybe via email. So you'll be able to tell quickly when your stock drops below the desired value. All right, the next function is client application. Well, it's a sort of a function. It's a small modifications that allow us to not restart the client application whenever the settings are applied. What you have currently is that whenever somebody applies new settings to the system, all client applications will restart, and that can be kind of irritating at times. You lose the control of your cameras for a few seconds, maybe like for a dozen seconds, until the application restarts, and it may actually just pull the carpet from under your legs when you're doing something in the client application. So what we'll do later is we'll make it so that the client application will prompt you that the settings have been changed, but it will not restart at will. So you'll be able to restart it on your own whenever you want. So the next function is a web client with up to 16 cameras on display at once. We actually have a web client, I'm sure many of you already know, but the current web client only supports up to 5 cameras to be displayed at once. And currently, we've been able to achieve 3 times that number. The new web client will be able to display 16 cameras at once and will put less load on your system at the same time. So we've kind of altered the technology that we're using. We've gone from using the old outdated display engine to implement the HTML5 and everything in its full glory. So now the new web client will not only be able to display more cameras at once, it will also be more secure. It will be able to handle permissions and authentication data in a better way. It will, as I said, put less load on the system in general, but also it will put a lot less load on the system whenever the browser is minimized. So when the system is idle, you will barely get any load at all. It will support every modern browser you can think of, Firefox, Safari, Chrome, Edge, you name it. And also the new web client will be somewhat closer to the desktop client in terms of its functionalities. But apart from the desktop application, the web client will be able to run on any modern operating system. So Windows, Mac OS, Linux, everything. Okay, so the next function is import of views in mobile clients for iOS and Android. And this one is pretty simple too. If you're used to using views for your client applications when you set them up in the configurator, you will now be able to use them in your mobile clients as well. So your favorite views will look just the same on mobile phones as they will on your desktop clients. Then we have something even bigger. For autumn this year, we plan to release the new face recognition system. We currently have a face recognition system, actually two of them, but we're completely revamping them now. And what you're about to receive this autumn will be a completely different thing. And we've worked pretty hard to make sure that it works not only faster, but also in with much more accuracy. We've made double sure that the thing will be able to recognize people in dense crowds. It will be able to recognize people that are wearing sunglasses, hats, beards, everything. We we actually have a beta testing system going on. So if you would like to participate in that and get early access to the new face recognition system, you may address your personal manager to get the details. And now, at the end of the year, or maybe somewhat at the beginning of next year, we plan to release something that would be the biggest effort so far, which is the Linux version of Eocortex server. And that is something different for us because currently the only system supported to deploy the servers is Windows. And some people don't like Windows. Some people can't use Windows because of restrictions put to their projects. And we've heard you, and we want to roll out the Linux version of the server sometime soon, because we also have a beta testing program. And if you want to get, once again, early access to the feature, you may want to contact your manager. So you don't have to wait until the beginning of the next year to get the best of what we have to offer. You can get it now, provided, of course, that you're ready for repercussions of having a beta system on your project. But you do what you got to do. All right, now I'm going to give it back to Paul. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alex. That was exciting. And yeah, dear partners, thank you for being with us during this webinar. We're glad that you have been actively chatting with us, and our managers will immediately start helping you to choose the right solutions for the projects and winning them using Eocortex version 2.5. And let us remind that all the novelty that you have seen today are ready to be offered for your projects. So you can download the demo version and test the version 2.5 by yourself. And from large-scale implementations to smaller environments with multiple locations, Eocortex delivers the performance you need. And follow the link to our website and download the new version. Our marketing team is ready to provide you with the promotional materials, and the managers will help you to sell our new product. So thank you for being with us, and definitely we will implement many projects together. And we appreciate your time and looking forward to hearing from you guys. And Really, we are so excited to be a part of Eocortex community, and you all have a great day. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you, guys.